Hi there, everybody. Welcome to the full snow moon in Virgo. So even though it's a snow moon and there's snow on the ground in many places, we are feeling spring around the corner. The light in the sky is just different. It's brighter, it's bluer, it feels clean and clear. And I feel spring right around the corner. I hope you do too. So we're going to take a look at the chart of this full moon in Virgo. It's our annual full moon in Virgo, right? It only happens in February, once a year. And when we get Virgo and Pisces opposing each other, there's certain dynamics that typically go on. And one of those is the difference between following your intuition, trusting the flow of life, having faith, versus pulling back and analyzing and scrutinizing and strategizing. So, you might feel push-pull between, well, do I guide my life by my gut feeling, or do I guide my life because I should think about everything thoroughly and in detail, or somewhere in between? Other themes that are very Pisces and Virgo related are the victim and the savior. Both like to help people. Both signs like to be of service. Pisces can sometimes get in situations where they feel like a martyr. They feel like they're just doing everything and no one appreciates them. Virgo can also get into situations where they're doing more and more for people and they don't feel like they're serving. They feel like they're in servitude. So they feel like a slave even though they said they would help. So sometimes with Pisces and Virgo, you got to ask yourself, am I giving more than I'm comfortable with? Am I enjoying what I'm giving? Do I feel like I'm of service? Do I, feel good about the help that I'm giving people? Am I respecting my limits? Am I respecting their limits? Am I trying to help somebody or save somebody in any way? And if I am, is it, be honest and ask, is that more about my need to be helpful or useful or save somebody? Or is that really, like, what I'm doing, is it really helping somebody? Truly. And it can be on the other end too. It might on the recipient end, there's people around you that might be trying to be helpful, but it's feeling more like meddling than help. There might be, we're rebalancing some of those things, but let's take a look now more in depth at the chart. So, it's the first time I'm looking at it, so I like to do it that way. I don't know if any of you follow me. I'm sort of a purist. And because I function so much on intuition, I like to give you my first raw, intuitive, what strikes me kind of reading, versus my Virgo rising side that is more analytical. So I cast the chart for New York, and so the houses, the rising sign, the things that I reference that way, they are applicable if you're in Eastern time zone. Otherwise, you have to relocate the chart for what houses and what ascendant this full moon has. Otherwise, all the planetary aspects make sense no matter where you are. So this full moon is in Virgo. The Sun and Venus are opposite. So Venus just moved in to Pisces. It's 2 degrees. The Sun is 8. So we have Venus and the Sun together. And that really emphasizes the Pisces side of this more than the Virgo side. The Virgo moon is sort of standing all alone at the top of the chart. And it's even in the 8th house, which also could be more of a lonely kind of placement. The moon in the 8th house would be somebody who's extremely deep emotionally. It would be sort of a sign of somebody who might be a psychologist or inclined towards research, deep research, detective work, metaphysical study, because the 8th house is all about Scorpio usually and what is hidden. What's hidden? What's taboo? What's deeply, deeply, deeply in the dark of the ocean. I'm going to go down and see what's there. So with the moon in Virgo there, you get a very detective-like aspect. So the moon in the 8th house is deep, but in Virgo, it's even more so. So you may find yourself going quite deeply in yourself emotionally this full moon. You might find it easier if you are giving or receiving any kind of therapeutic session. Maybe it's going deeper and into more detail easily than ever before. You might be psychoanalyzing a lot of people around you. That could be one thing. Moon in Virgo, like you might be the scrutinizer, but you might feel like you're being scrutinized as well. And the ascendant for this full moon is Capricorn. So lots of earth and water, making it feel a little more grounded, a little less volatile than our last full moon, which was like all air and fire. So as usual, I like to take a look at, what other aspects are playing out in the skies. So once you understand that the full moon is like the emotional needs and your identity are exactly opposite. What's hidden? What do I show? Who am I in public? Who am I in private? What things do I need to feel like I'm being myself? What things do I need emotionally to feel well? Sun and moon opposing in somebody's natal chart would mean that those things are at odds all the time. So Pisces and Sun and Venus together, they need things to feel peaceful. They need things to feel like a nice flowing river. They don't want a lot of structure. They don't want a lot of analysis or rules. You'll tell them, oh, that thing is actually called this. And they go, I don't know. I don't care what it's called. All I know is how I feel about it. I don't care what it's called. I just care how I feel. Moon in Virgo will go into the last little detail about something that might be really important. Pisces will go, I don't know. I just intuit it. I just feel it out. I just go with the flow. I go with how I feel. And so sometimes Sun and Venus in Pisces just is full of inspirational feeling, or full of sadness, or full of melancholy, or full of guilt, or there's just like sometimes a saturation of emotion and they don't quite know what to do with it. So sometimes Pisces wants to escape by anything. Unfortunately, a lot of Pisces want to escape with drugs and alcohol. Sometimes they escape through video games. Sometimes they escape by being workaholics. But there's usually a bit of a difficulty facing the hard, cold reality of some things. So if they feel saturated emotionally, they're just going to check out, space out, live in their head, or do the more self-destructive side of stuff sometimes. The moon in Virgo, on the other hand, is a little bit more sanguine, a little more cold. Doesn't mean they don't care. They're just not so absorbent or so spongy of everything. They're filtering things more through Mercury that rules them, intellect. So the moon in Virgo is very, very smart, usually very good at putting the pieces together in order. They need things to be in a certain order or method, which will be all their own, but they need things to feel ordered. They need things to feel pure. They need things to feel honest, sincere, pure, raw, and they need to know what it is. So the example might be, you're in a fancy restaurant and maybe the restaurant is a different culture of food and you've never had it before. And a dish comes to the table and it looks and smells wonderful. And the cook or the chef says, here you go, you'll love this, just try it. Pisces will go, oh no, wow, it smells so good. This looks so good. I'm just gonna dive in. Oh my God, it's wonderful. Virgo's gonna go, what's in that? They need to know first before they let themselves go. So these are the kind of opposing energies in the sky. But other than that, nothing's really terribly opposed in this chart, which makes it nice. So the thing that is emphasizing the moon is Uranus. Uranus is in Taurus, making a nice trine. And it is also making a nice trine, which is a happy aspect, to the Capricorn rising. So what we have is Sun, Uranus, and ascendant trine. That means, you know, that this earthy energy, which means keep it real, keep it tangible. If I can see it, I believe it. Let's put our physical stuff in order. Let's put our physical house in order. Let's put our finances in order. Tangible stuff, down to earth, concrete stuff. This is all working well. This is all flowing very well, this full moon. So you could find that moon in Virgo, great time to tackle your taxes. Great time to sit down and go through the paperwork of something that you've been otherwise breaking your head over. Good time to plan all the meals for the next month. I don't know. Planning is a good thing is a good part of Earth. Uranus, as we said, Uranus and Taurus brings like a, you know, more, a more eccentric, a more unpredictable, edgy or unstable feeling to the earth, like an earthquake. So I would expect the moon trine Uranus. Well, you could have a feeling of rumbling inside you. You could have a feeling that there's some stuff you want to do. There's some things that you're feeling. It would feel like you're being very deeply stirred, though. It's not right on the surface, ready to react. It's like you might feel like, I don't know, feels like something's coming. Feels like I need to make a big change, but you might not be clear what that is right away. Now, let's take a look at the planets that are sort of supporting the sun, all of that Pisces. And basically, we just have Venus supporting it, but that's already huge because the sun and Venus together support each other. They like each other. They're like, I like you. It's like, yeah, I like you too. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, we are. You know, it's emphasizing that Pisces side that's just all full of emotion and creativity and feeling for people and spiritual faith. So it's an excellent time to develop your spiritual side. Now, Uranus is also making a nice aspect to Sun and Venus. Not as strong as the moon, but it's still helping both of these things out. And because Uranus is our earthquake kind of energy that could be disruptive, it's not so bad because it's helping the sun and the moon right now. We do have Mars squaring off with Venus, so that can provide a little bit of a tension point as well. Mars is at the end of Taurus, Venus is at the beginning of Pisces. So they're still in earth and water, but by degree, they're squaring. Now, Venus squaring Mars is like, what I want is contradictory to how I go about getting it. You know, I want Venus in Pisces, I want things to be nice and gentle, and I want things to just flow peacefully with people. And Mars in Taurus would be, you know, workaholic work. Get down, like, so it might, because they're squaring, even though they're sort of compatible signs, but you might find there's somebody around or within yourself, a bit of that inner taskmaster, workaholic, when maybe your desire is like, oh, I just want to chill out. I just, you know, it'll happen when it happens. And the earth signs are like, no, you got to make it happen. You got to plan it. There's like, water's like, nah, it'll just, when the time is right, I'll know. No, you've got to plan. You've got to save. You've got to think ahead. You got to be realistic. I just want it to be easy. And yeah, you might have a bit of that tension going on within yourself or with people close to you. Doesn't feel too dramatic. Mars is also making a good aspect now to Pluto. Pluto is at 25 degrees Capricorn. Mars is 27 Taurus. So again, that supports this productive Earth kind of energy. Mars and Pluto, as we saw with previous full moons this year, were squaring off. Not so easy with each other. But now they're when they're working well together, honestly, you can get, it's time to, like, I don't know, build the basement. Like, it's time to cut down the giant tree on the lawn and break it up for firewood. It's like, it's a get her done, practical. But because Mars and Pluto is there, you've got the energy to do a larger task, a task that requires more energy or more intensity or speed than usual. And it's not a mental task, it's a physical task. It's a practical task. So anything that you can think of that needs to be done in your home or outside, anything that you might have been putting off or resisting, could be a good time to really get it done. There's a push. Now, Uranus is making a bit of a square off to Mercury and Saturn. And Jupiter. That's about the only tension I see here. So again, Saturn, Jupiter, Mercury, and Aquarius, they want to stay, they're more concerned with ideas. It's an air sign. They'd rather watch a documentary about building a basement than building the basement themselves. They might rather look at books about design or something innovative, equipment to chop down the tree into firewood versus actually just getting out there and getting your hands dirty. But they're both fixed signs. So Uranus squaring Mercury and Jupiter and Saturn, there could be some, again, just clashing of ideas, clashing of how the best way to go about getting something done. However, as I said, all the planets are quite supported for the Earth aspect right now, not the ideological or innovative. It's Earth signs are like, it's an apple. Deal with it. It's what it is. An Aquarius might go, did you know that apples were symbolic of a god, of a goddess? So yeah, maybe this, or what kind of apple, because the kind of apple could mean something. Or what else could we do with this apple? But they're staying in their head with it. Whereas like Taurus comes along, it's like, yeah, I'm just going to eat it. So the only thing I'm really feeling about this full moon is you might just feel a little bit torn about, where do I spend my energy? What's the best way to solve, best way to get to be the most productive? What's the, could be a few debates about the best way to get things done, about whose ideas are whose and whose idea rules. But overall, I'd say your main tension source, or your main thing, is you're grappling with, should I get practical, or should I just chill and let things flow as they will? Which isn't that bad a thing to have to think about, is it? So let's take a look now at the tarot for this month, for this moon. And I just need, forgive me, but my lips are dry. There. All right. So let's take a look at our cards for this full moon. All right, I'm going to pull 9 cards as usual. So our first card here is the Hierophant. So the Hierophant would mean a lot of self-reflection. That's more the Moon and Virgo side in the 8th house. That's like deep work. And it sort of fits Pisces too if it's talking about spiritual side of you, spiritual work. Because this could be a card of very deep meditation, trance-like states. You see the enlightenment sort of the window around his head, and you can see sort of these arrows and demons around him. So grappling with your inner demons on some level, you know, maybe you're doing an intensive, a retreat, a hypnosis session, a deep meditation, a therapy session. Maybe you're reading a book on philosophy or metaphysics. But it's positive though. It's productive self-reflection. There we go, our get her done. Capricorn. Mars in Capricorn. This is, again, this whole thing about like, could be like a workaholic, but this is definitely a sign of like usually full-time paid work. So if that's not your situation, hopefully it will be for you, if that's what you want. And otherwise, it's a productive time. Get down to business, build something, scrub the floor, organize a closet, get out there on the physical productive level and do stuff. You'll feel good for it. And that's interesting. So we've got the 3 of Wands, which is the Sun in Aries, and the card says virtue. And usually trinities, when you see 3s, there's many holy trinities or 3s. The Father, Son, the Holy Ghost, the Maiden, Mother, the Crone, past, present, future. You name it, you can go on and on about trinities and different triangles and trinities. And 3 is, because 3 is the number where either the partnership or the couple opens up to the divine to make a trinity, or a child comes in to make a family. There's all kinds of metaphors I can go into, but virtue sort of means, and the Sun in Aries in this case would be, it's always about doing the right thing when it comes to the virtue card. Like, do the noble thing, honor yourself, but do the right thing. You know, don't try to get away with stuff. Don't try to cut corners. Be honest with people, but also honor yourself while you're doing that. So to me, this card always holds like a high, a sense of integrity. Then we have the Moon card. So there's somebody around who's either, I'm feeling there's someone around who's feeling depressed, or somebody who's not doing well psychologically or emotionally around you. There's many people struggling with their mental health right now during this pandemic. It's been really, really hard on many. So you might, you know, we talked about this whole theme of like service or servitude. So think about who around you could actually help in a meaningful way, or ask yourself, you know, if there's any imbalances around the people that you are helping or who need you, or maybe you need this. But the Moon card is like when all of the murky, the old demons come up, the foggy states of mind, the wondering if something is real or an illusion, wondering if you dreamt it, wondering if you made it up, wondering if somebody's being truthful with you. Sometimes this card can be lying and cheating and deceit, but it doesn't mean it's always that. And it can also just be people who feel very deeply confused about themselves, their identity, confused about others. So there's someone around who's in not a good state of mind, who needs your help. 9 of Wands, it's lovely after that. So, I mean, it's very hopeful that the help comes. So whether that's for you or for someone close to you, the Strength card, there's definitely people around. There's strength in numbers. The person or yourself needs to be encouraged to find that inner strength and to stand their ground. Anybody who is doing well right now, or feeling happier, or you've achieved a milestone, or you've managed to cope in these crazy freaking times, or you've managed to keep your business afloat, or like whatever you've managed to do, you give yourself credit for it and hang on to it. You know, the danger, like I said, of Virgo Pisces is that you give yourself away. You lose yourself in trying to serve others. And that's either you lose your identity, or you can give away too much of your power and be taken advantage of, or you can feel used and mistreated because you did it to yourself. So the Strength card alongside the moon and everything here to me means like, hang on to your good headspace too. Hang on to your own self-care as you go about thinking of what you can do for others. Then we have the Tower. So again, it's sort of suggesting someone around you in crisis. The Tower is like something for you or someone else has just come to the end of its rope. And there's been many warnings, and they've probably gone unheeded. And now the person is getting a wake-up call. So Tower's never pretty, but like I said, there's a lot of supporting cards around this right now. Tower can also be a breakthrough. So sometimes these things hit us and they feel huge and they can take months to rectify, and other times things are quite quick. You know, the Moon card and Strength and the Tower could play out as you having a bad day, a bad dream, a flashback that comes up, and then you release it and now you feel free. It could be that too. So don't think of it as always being prolonged, but it is, I can't lie, the cards are saying there's some sort of emotional crisis that we have to overcome, or somebody near you. And then the Judgment card means that somebody needs to take a definite step after that. After the crisis of the Tower, you can't go back to what you were doing. You know, if somebody has a medical issue, they can't go back and keep doing the same lifestyle. They have to change it. If you're suddenly having like flashbacks about or a meltdown because of how you've been treated by people in the past, you have to change the relationship dynamics. You have to look at why you landed in those patterns. If you feel used often, you got to stop it and you got to figure out what to do differently. You can't just go back into feeling like a victim and let it happen all over again, which is like a Pisces kind of theme sometimes, the shadow side of it. So the definite step is coming. So if you do, or you around you, or anyone is having any kind of crisis, it's time for a definitive step forward. But it really does feel like there's a lot of support. Now, 5 of Wands comes next. It says strife. Usually it means there's too many cooks in the kitchen, too many people around battling for something, too many opinions, too many people that want to be boss who just can't get along. Often this card is like a breaking up or quitting or leaving or a fight. So when it comes on the heels of the Judgment card, like you take a definite step, you've had a crisis, you realize I can't live this way anymore. You take a definite step, you announce this is how it's going to be, or this is what I want to do next. And then the five of Wands doesn't surprise me, because often that'll lead to friction when you set a boundary, or if you make a decision, people can oppose you, be jealous, you name it. You may. Whenever we make changes and go forward truly, we have to be prepared that we might lose people. And we might not lose them forever. We might just lose them for a little while, but we can't make big changes on one area of life without it affecting like a ripple effect. So just prepare your mind for that, or whoever you're helping. And this is nice. Our final card is Power. It's a Capricorn, Sun in Capricorn, and that means that's a solid, look how solid that is. It's a castle, it's a fortress, and it's a square, and there's a moat, and then there's a drawbridge at the bottom with a lead in. This is a very solid, strong card. This is a card of you have your stability, you've got things going well productively, materially, you're fine. And socially or emotionally, it would mean that you have your boundaries clear and you're much more discerning on what you will and won't do, and who gets in your castle, who deserves a spot at your castle. So I would say overall, this, even though there's a bit of could be an emotional crisis for somebody or for you, I really get a strong feeling that there's a lot of support. There's a lot of insight. It's more like a healing crisis that's a breakthrough to go forward. And all of the planets are just so down to earth that I feel reassured that the crisis will be solved. When everything is about conflict and fire and everything's all in your head, or if I see signs of foul play or deception or stuff in the air, then it's a lot harder when these crises happen. But this one just feels like it's going to be so crystal clear. Like, wow, a little stupid thing that happened to me. When the temperatures started to thaw a couple days ago, it cracked all the ice off of the roof, and the ice just went schlonk, and it broke a chair on my front patio, which is all replaceable. It's no big deal. But it also crashed the internet wires outside my building. So my internet was disappeared yesterday and I couldn't fix my modem. So that's a tower. That's a tower moment. It's like, it's something that was building up, but I didn't know. And then the crash happens and you solve it. You solve it. It gets fixed. Now, if you stay in the victim side of it, oh, why is this always happening to me? Oh, look what happened. Oh, it's going to be so hard for me because my internet is down. Oh, why do we always have to call service people? They're always so slow, or blah, 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 right? That would be the martyr side of Pisces. Don't go there. Moon in Virgo, what did I do? Oh, I tried to reset. I turned everything off and on. I unplugged it. I checked my computer. It's not on my end. I called the company. Somebody was nice. They came out within 2 hours of my phone call. It's fixed. Somebody came here and fixed it. Done. You see? That's a moon in Virgo. That is using the productive earth energy. Just like, don't get emotional about it. Fix it. Solve it. Decide. That's what this full moon is about. So even if there's emotional crises, that's the way to handle it. So damn practical. Look at that. All right, so we're going to go into the readings for everybody's sign. All right, so we're back with the live readings of your sign. So what I'm going to do is focus the reading this time on that Virgo Pisces push-pull. So the card that I pull will represent how do you need to be more practical, determined, discerning, earth energy, or how do you need to be more trusting, have faith, go with the flow, trust your intuition? Which one would be the most beneficial for you right now, to focus on the details and the strategic planning, the get her done? Or would it be more beneficial to you to go with the flow, chill, relax, trust that things will work out as they will? So we're going to see where each sign falls on that trajectory. All right. All right, so Aries, your card is the Five of Cups. So as you can see, the Five of Cups is like the disappointment card, emotional disappointment. And usually it's a card when there's sometimes maybe even a feeling of betrayal, being because it's Mars and Scorpio, people being possessive, people being obsessive, being controlling or manipulative sometimes. It can also represent huge passion and other levels for your projects or sexually. But it says disappointment because the cups are empty. There's a transformation, as there always is with Scorpio cards. The butterfly at the bottom gives you an indication of the transformation. So this gives me the feeling of, in order to pull yourself out of how deep and intense some of the dynamics and emotions are of this card, I would say it's time to lean towards that Virgo moon. Pull back and put things in a bit of order, a bit of methodology. So for example, if this card is speaking to you in any way about a heartache, a heartbreak, with a, you know, an ex, a friend, something like that, where you feel, or it could be something in the past, you're rehashing an old wound. I would say the way to go about it then is like step back, maybe write down your history with this person, maybe write down a pros and cons kind of list about that relationship, what you got, what hurt you, or make, you know, think of different ways you could categorize it. And it might even be for many people. It's not just one person. This could be like, why am I always disappointed in my jobs? Why am I always feeling let down with my sexual partners? You know, why do I always have these jealous, possessive girlfriends? Something like that. Make lists, make categories, write it all down. That's one way to step back in a Virgo way and put things in boxes. And then you can step back and sort of assess where things are at. And then it'll help you in a concrete way to sort of go, wow, look at all that. Look at how many times I wrote this down, or look how many things fit that pattern. And then it gives you a concrete thing to work on, and it pulls you out of this feeling of feeling down and like that there's like an emptiness or an angry, bitter, resentful, whatever kind of feelings are coming up. So for you, that Pisces, go with the flow, let it all, no, I would say no. That could lead to just even more murky, emotional, lack of clarity, lack of action. So for you, it's to focus on the Virgo moon side of it. Taurus. Taurus has the Four of Cups. So this card says luxury. It's the moon in Cancer. For you, it's definitely the other way around. For you, this is like the chilling out card. This is like moon in Cancer. Let me lie back. You can feed me grapes if you want to. You know, let's take a nice bath. Let's be showered by pampering and love. Let's receive. So Taurus, you're usually the hardworking, practical, down-to-earth, get-her-done sign. So for you, the best thing to do right now would be to pull back and do things that are pleasurable and comforting, nurturing, and just don't worry so much about how much you're getting done or what time or how many hours is, you know, stop thinking and thinking things through a bit, and just trust your dreams. You know, if you meditate, or like I said, if you want to go for a long walk, if you're somewhere where you could go swimming, you know, this is a water card. If you can get out on the water somehow, or if you're in colder countries, maybe get out and skate. Connect to the water, connect to that flow. And for you, it's more about definitely abundance and letting things flow, letting yourself just trust. I think it's going to be a nice full moon period for you. All right. I've got the heater on and it's boiling in here. All right. So Gemini, let's see for you. All right, Gemini, you've got the Ace of Coins or Ace of Discs. That's definitely an earth sign. That's a card of business, of money, of a project that is concrete. So this full moon is definitely for you to get it's the practical, get her done side of life. Put down the down payment, set aside the money for something, buy the materials that you need to get yourself started. The ace is the beginning, is beginnings. And so this means that for you, this full moon is about launching and starting what you've said you're going to do. So from out of your ideas and from out of your head onto the paper, onto the concrete material world, start to launch something. And this is a very nice card as well. So I get a feeling, Gemini, that you'll enjoy this full moon. Those two planets, full moons, you know, and sun right now are squaring Gemini. But because you're all mutable signs, you're very, you know, all of those things are adaptable. So are you. But because the full moon is in Virgo and that's ruled by Mercury, and so are you, stick with that earthy, planning, detailed side of you as well. Cancers. Let's see for you, my dears. King of Swords. There's somebody coming up to your mind. There's somebody going to feature prominently in your life or coming back to your mindset. And that can mean anything. A person could show up as a new person that you're connecting to. Could be someone you already know who's just going to play a bigger role. Could be somebody that's constantly on your mind because you're trying to heal something from the past. But it's related to this guy here, which is King of Swords. This is a guy who's not so compatible for a Cancer because he's not very good at his emotions. He's more like clever and quick and fast. He likes to rush. He's very good with his words. He might be very ultra charming. He might be able to sell, you know, sell anything to anybody he wants because he's just so good and so fast the way he speaks. Super knowledgeable. You'll find him intellectually stimulating, but emotionally he's not capable of relating to you on a deep level or understanding you on a deep level. So on that side of things, would you focus on the Virgo or the Pisces side? I'd say in this case, I'd focus on the Pisces side, because if you lean towards the Virgo side of this full moon, you might have then a tendency to want to help him or serve him or analyze him, and that might just lead you down the rabbit hole. If you focus on that Pisces, Venus and Sun in Pisces, it goes well with Cancer. It would be more about like, try to look at this guy and see his flaws and accept him or forgive him. Try to have compassion for him for whatever he's done or not done. You know, look at him through the eyes of, wow, the poor guy doesn't understand emotions at all. Must be a rough life. You know, that's a very Piscean way to look at him. You know, well, he is what he is. That's very Pisces too. He's just being him. Oh, well, nothing I could do about it. Nothing to do with me. Just accepting people as they are. And then definitely don't make efforts for this person. Like, don't try to reach out. Don't try to facilitate a conversation or use pointless. So I would say more focusing on accepting this person as they are, for who they are, and letting them go with forgiveness, whether they're living or not, whether they're in the past or they're right in front of you. If the guy shows up as a new person on your path, same thing, just observe and like let him be who he is. You'll figure out later if this person is your King of Swords or not. But you'll know when you're trying to convey something emotional and they can't handle it, you'll know that you're dealing with the wrong guy for you. Alrighty. I'm a Cancer, and this already applies to two men that I can think of that have come up recently, that are coming up in my hypnosis sessions, that I'm clearing them, and both of them are air signs. And forgiveness has been, seeing them and accepting their true nature and forgiving them for who they are has been extremely helpful to lighten things up. Okay, let's look at Leos. Leo, your card is the Princess of Swords. Excuse me, Princess of Wands. So that's fire like you. So this full moon, you could be dealing with someone around you who's very fiery, very likes to take risks, very last minute, spontaneous, exciting, uplifting, upbeat, um, lots of will. It's a strong will and determination, very independent and bold. Doesn't really think things through, just goes for it. This could be a side of you. You might be feeling like you're the one who needs to take the bold action or risks, or bold communication, or, you know, take a step and let yourself shine, do something fun, do something, you know, this card is sort of like the party is really boring and all of a sudden this girl gets up and goes across to the DJ and says, play this, and gets up and dances and then changes the whole mood around to the party. You know, that's the kind of spirit she has. So again, you might be either dealing with this person who comes into your life now. They could be a friend of yours. They could be your wife. She could be somebody from your past that you're trying to process. But which side would you go to, the Virgo or the Pisces? I'm inclined to the Pisces. Similar message to the Cancer, because you're dealing with another person. It's sort of like accepting her for who she is and letting her be who she is, and understanding that, you know, if this turns out that it's describing a person who hurt you in any way because of that boldness or that lack of foresight, you know, that risk taking, that, you know, just spitting out what she thinks without realizing how it affects anybody else. If that's the side then you sort of, again, have to step back and look at her for who she is, accept her for who she is, let her be who she is, give her space, forgiveness if need be, you know. And if it's somebody who's newly stepping into your life, then it could be quite lovely, actually. If this is God, you know, for whoever this is, if it's a new person, then somebody's coming in to give you a boost of inspiration or energy, creativity, motivating you. That's coming into your life. So go with the flow of it. It's not an analyzing, breaking things down, practical moon for you. It's more the creative flow. Go with the flow, acceptance. Go with the Pisces side. All right. Virgo. So the full moon shines on you, and the sun and moon are opposing, and full moon in your own sign can be an intense time of year. And I get the Ten of Swords. So for you, Virgo, the moon is highlighting your sun, maybe your Mercury, your identity. So you're definitely going to be focused on your Virgo-ness. You're going to be focused on analyzing things, discerning, putting things where they belong. The good thing, though, is that if you're Virgo and the sun and Venus are in Pisces, that means that it's activating your seventh house of love, marriage, long-term partnership in a good way. So what I'm going to say is this card to me means that Virgos, it's time for you to let go of being any situation, scenario, relationship, work scenario where you are not feeling appreciated or seen. Ten of Swords is it's the card of ruin. It's the card where you've been there too long. You've stayed way too long. You've allowed something to be toxic for way too long. And it's like, you got to ask yourself, why am I still there? Why am I still here? What do I really think I'm going to get out of staying? Do you really think you can save anybody or change anybody? This card means it's gone too far a while ago. The letting go, the decision to go, the standing up for yourself, the moment of no more was a while ago, and we missed it. We missed it. We missed it. We missed it. So it is definitely time to walk away from anything or anyone that does not see you, support you, love you, appreciate you, because you are wonderful. You have so much to offer. So definitely it's a different message for you not to focus on either or. It's more of a catalytic walking away moment. It's going to affirm you. It's going to be a bit intense, but it's going to affirm you to let go. All right. Libras, let's see for you now. All right, Libra, you've got the Two of Wands. Two of Wands, as you can see, is like the wands are crossing each other. They look like they're engorged with blood, that like almost like they're ready to burst. This is usually a battle of wills, two people, opposing forces, people angry at each other, rubbing each other the wrong way. It's Mars and Aries. It's ready to go to battle. It's ready to go to war. It's spitting it out. Now that's not very Libra. Libra is your opposite sign. Sorry, Aries is your opposite sign. So what does that mean? Well, it means that you might come into some friction with somebody. So how would you deal with that? The Virgo or the Pisces? And it's going to really depend on the nature of the person that you're in conflict with. If it's somebody that you can have a constructive conversation with and go into more detail, break things down into smaller parts and resolve the issue, then you focus on the Virgo. If you're up against somebody that no matter what you say, they pick a fight, or you're just debating each other for no reason, then you need to use the Pisces. I see you for who you are. I accept you as you are. I let go of you. I wish you well as you are, but I remove myself, but with love, with forgiveness. But if you're with somebody who cares about you, cares about your relationship or your work together, and they are willing to get into that level of detailed conversation that could actually resolve things between you, then I would advise to do the work and save the relationship. Because that, if you make it through this fight, you'll be a lot closer. So it's for you, this full moon is like, see who comes and what comes to your plate. There might be more than one. And ask yourself pretty quickly on, do I feel like I can salvage this relationship dynamic with a bit of work or conversation, or does it feel like it's pointless? And then you'll sort of know which one to choose. Okie dokie. Let's move on now to Scorpio. Scorpio. So you also have a person card. Everyone's dealing with people. Well, I did say it was victim savior kind of serving or servitude, full moon. So makes sense. So this is the Prince of Pentacles. He likes his life to be nice and easy. He likes people to do things for him. He likes to make money without trying too hard. He likes to eat well, but somebody else can cook it. This guy can be really cute and charming. He might have some core talent, but he's usually sort of a bit absent-minded or lazy at the wheel. And he can sort of indulge himself too much and take things for granted too much. So I would definitely say this needs the Virgo energy, not the Pisces. Now, Pisces energy, if you say, oh, well, he's just being him, you know, he's just like that, it's all right. That could lead you to letting him take more advantage of your good nature. If you apply the Virgo side to a guy like this, then you can apply boundaries to him. Then if he's like, you know, oh, hey, so-and-so, did you get that editing done that I asked you to do? Oh yeah, man, like, yeah, I started it. Yeah. Okay, so I needed it. I need it. When can I get it? When can I expect it done? Well, I don't know. Like, it should be soon. Should be soon. Like, I'm working on it. The Pisces side would be like, oh, well, maybe things are hard for him, so I'll go with the flow. Like, get it done whenever you need. No, not with this guy. This guy will just take that and run and go, okay, great. So I don't have to step up. I would say with this one, it's the productive Earth Virgo side. Well, you signed a contract. I told you I needed it by then. You know what I'm saying? Be businessy with this guy. Be a bit cold and businessy with this guy if he's a problem. Even if it's a relationship issue, it could be about showing up on time. It could be about reciprocating. It could be about pulling his weight around the house. So step back to that Virgo side. Be more detailed and ask him to be more productive, because that also helps him grow up. He is an earth sign. He's supposed to become the king. The king of Pentacles is a very reliable, like Rock of Gibraltar kind of man. So he needs to grow up. All right. Sagittarius. Ha! And I just pulled the king. That's crazy. You know what? I don't think this is for you, Sag. I think that I'm still in the energy of Scorpio. All right, Sagittarius, show me which card is for you. Oh, there we go. 9 of Cups. That's nice. Pisces card. Jupiter in Pisces. Pisces, Pisces, Pisces. Well, that already tells us where you should be focusing on. So just like Gemini, just like Virgo, just like Pisces, you are also a mutable sign. Mutable, adaptable. Oh, you're going this way? I'll go that way. Oh, you're doing that. Okay, I'll balance. All right, so we're doing this now? Okay. So Pisces is what you focus on. Virgo squares your sign. Virgo moon is probably not an easy full moon for you. It's going to highlight issues around the family, issues around home life. Oh no, sorry. 1 second. Yeah, no, I'm wrong. Sorry, it highlights your career. And still it can be like parental issues, public image, stuff to do with mainly career though, and how you're seen in public. That's the Virgo. The Pisces is where it's your 4th house of home. And the 9 of Cups would be like happy home life. So hopefully you're having a happy quarantine kind of life right now, that things are going well on the home front. Pour your energy into that. The happiness card also looks like things are flowing nicely with this could be on a spiritual level. This could be, you know, that you're feeling really good in your skin. Maybe your yoga practice is going wonderfully. Maybe you're meditating and it's like amazing. Maybe your social networking is there's just always people around and it's sort of fun. But this is an amazing card for happiness, for flow, for trusting yourself, for expressing creativity, for collaborating with others. It's very nice. So definitely you focus on the Pisces side of this one. You probably don't even want to focus on the Virgo side of life anyway. Analyzing and getting into nitty-gritty details and picking things apart is not for you. Pisces is better. All right, Capricorn. That's a nice card for you. Money. What Capricorn doesn't want to hear that? This is a chunk of money. This card is 10 coins. And if you look closely, if you are aware, it's in the shape and the formation of the tree of life. This is a card of wealth. This is a card of like legacies with your money. This can be a card where you receive inheritance money. It could also be investment money, whether you put some investment in or you recoup it. This could be a chunk of money that you put a down payment for a car or a house or something you want. It could be a chunk of money that you receive or apply for if you're applying for a loan or grant. But there's money around, and there's the responsibility or the foresight to think, how is this going to be used in the long term? So definitely, because this is an earth sign, and look, the card is even a Virgo. It's Mercury in Virgo. So you focus on the Virgo side because it's accenting Uranus and Taurus and Pluto in Capricorn and the ascendant in Capricorn. Focus on that productive side of you, but not frantic, busy for no reason. Focus on investments. Think about life in terms of investment right now. What can I invest in? How can I increase my investment? What can I invest in for the long term? And the more you think about what you want to do for your long term, you'll know better what to do in the now. Because Virgo can like break their head over too many things, too many options, too many details, and get too perfectionistic and sort of stuck. But the other planets are all supporting that moon in earth signs to be, proactive about something. Only aspect I would bring in is just that sense of legacy of thinking down the road, long term. What's worth putting yourself into. And well, it's a good sign if you need money or you're applying for something or you want to increase your money. It's a great card. So awesome for you. Let's take a look now at Aquarius. That's nice. The sun. Very nice. So for you, this looks like a nice full moon as well. You've got a few planets accenting Aquarius, right? Like we said, Saturn, Jupiter, and I'm blanking out. There were 3. Let me look at the chart again. Yeah, Mercury. Sorry, Mercury's still in Aquarius. So because you've got like those triple planets accenting Aquarius, maybe you're feeling this sunshine, this birth of the age of air, the Aquarian age. Maybe you're feeling like society is shifting or things are shifting in a direction that you like. Whether to focus on the Virgo or Pisces side of this moon, definitely the Pisces. Go with the flow. Go with your, creative flow, artistic if you are. And when I say creative and artistic, that doesn't mean that everybody has to suddenly be a painter. Everybody always thinks that. Creative can be that you get in your kitchen and you create a new recipe and you set the table in a new, beautiful way for dinner for everybody. Creative can be throwing a blanket over your couch so that you have a new color in the living room. Creative and artistic can be doing your hair in a new way or doing your makeup in a new way or putting on a different color combination of clothes than you normally wear. Like seriously, you don't have to be Van Gogh to be creative. So I would say definitely there's a joy about you right now. There's a blossoming and openness to self-expression, to being more quirky, more your quirky self. I would say use the Pisces, get creative, do something outwardly to express that. And looks like it'd be a nice full moon for you. And finally, Pisces. Pisces, well, you have the Sun and Venus right now in your sign, so you're going to find that's giving you a boost. That's giving you a lift. So your card is the 7 of Swords. So the 7 of Swords is also about walking away or moving. So you might also be thinking about just letting go. But it's a different kind of letting go than some of the other cards. The Virgo card was like you're being forced to let go. Stop clinging to something. This is a different letting go. This is very airy, this card. This is an Aquarian card. The moon in Aquarius, detached. It's very cool. It's just light and cool and like a breeze. That's the kind of letting go you're doing. Sometimes this card can mean people move location. You might, if you're thinking of moving, it would encourage you to move. Start planning it. Just let it happen. Otherwise, this card often is shown as somebody walking away from a village or walking away into the water, or like there's just that moment with this card. They call it futility. What is futility means you get to a point or a place where you just look at it, like maybe you walk in to a place you haven't been in a while and you're going to say hello to someone you haven't seen in a while, and you get there and you say hi, and you know from the eye contact that something is over. It's not what it was. You're not who you were. They're not who they were. There's nothing good or bad. There's no anger. There's no sadness. There's just like a moment of, wow, guess we're done. Guess this chapter's over. And you walk out the door. That's it. That's futility. It's a very light and peaceful and easy way of letting go. It's not like, I've got to let you go. No, it's like, here I go. Bye. Bye. So if you are in a position like that, I would say just let it happen. You're ready to move to the next level. Because when you get to that level where you can let go with that kind of ease, what you're really saying is, universe, I'm ready for my next chapter. I'm ready for something new. I trust myself enough to be ready for something completely new to surprise me. And that's a nice way to leave off. So I'm getting I'm getting a nice feeling for people for this full moon. I really hope it is a good one for you. And if it isn't, and you need to reach out for a session, then please feel free at river-rain.com or message me below this video at any time. All right.